All right, welcome back to the channel. So Caleb Plant tells Canelo Alvarez fans it will be easier to beat Canelo Alvarez than you think, and believes Canelo's legs are not 100% there. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So we have a fight for undisputed at 168 pounds between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. Looking forward to it. And Caleb Plant is telling people, look, do not be surprised if I beat Canelo easy. Let's talk about that in this video. But before I get into the meat of it, please make sure to subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, hit the like button, hit the share button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Look, Canelo Alvarez is fighting a good fight. I do believe for the first time in a while. I've been on Canelo Alvarez about the level of competition that he's been on, that he's been having against guys like pretty much ever since he's been on DAZN. He's been on a European Fight Fest, you know, with guys like Rocky Fielding, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Yeldemir, Kovalev. You know, these are guys that I don't really think are the best fighters, you know, are necessarily the best fighters, but Canelo Alvarez has been beating them, making a bunch of money, but he's now gotten to the point where he's in the 168-pound division, and he's actually up against somebody that I think is going to be able to cause him some problems, and that is Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is the man. I think he's you guys got to forgive me. I think he is the IBF 100. I do have to believe that's the only title that Canelo Alvarez doesn't have, is the IBF 168-pound champion. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me in the comment section. But Caleb Plant is something different that Canelo Alvarez has not fought in a lot of years, and that is somebody that is very slick, somebody that is a very mobile fighter, similar to not exactly similar to, but similar to some of the fighters that gave Canelo Alvarez problems at 154 pounds. When you set somebody in front of Canelo Alvarez that is flat-footed, and that Canelo Alvarez doesn't have to worry about chasing down and getting his gloves on, then Canelo Alvarez is going to seriously excel, because Canelo Alvarez has excellent upper body movement, which means when he is sitting right in front of you and you're trying to hit Canelo Alvarez is very difficult to hit because of his upper body movement. But that upper body movement, the movement there, is not matched by his lower body movement, where somebody can shift out of position or move around and change angles on him, causes him a lot of problems. And that, I think, you saw with Floyd Mayweather Jr., who could always stay just out of range of Canelo Alvarez, and whenever Canelo Alvarez tried to get in range, boom, Floyd Mayweather Jr. would catch him trying to come in range, right? So, like, if you look at Canelo Alvarez's career, his difficulties have come against smaller fighters that are quicker. Specifically, the big three of the people that gave him the most problems were Floyd Mayweather Jr., who beat him, Austin Trout, and Erislandy Lara. Now, Austin Trout, some people think that Canelo Alvarez won that, didn't think that Canelo Alvarez won that handily. I don't think he won that handily. I know that he got a knockdown, and I think the knockdown made the difference in the Austin Trout Canelo Alvarez fight. But Austin Trout was giving him all kind of difficulties playing with the range, staying out of range when he wanted to stay out of range, and when he got into range, he got in and he could get out quickly on Canelo, caused Canelo a lot of problems. And obviously, Erislandy Lara, almost universally, people believe that he lost that fight with Erislandy Lara, where Erislandy Lara, the southpaw Cuban, who was very mobile, very well-schooled fighter, did, I think, almost as good a job against Canelo Alvarez as Floyd Mayweather Jr. did. So you see that he has the problems there. But if you put Canelo Alvarez in front of guys like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., right, who was his first real big pay-per-view fight after the Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight, it's just going to be, for him, that type of guy is just target practice. He can sit there right in the pocket, make you miss all day long, and counter you. Even older fighters that he fought, like Miguel Cotto, who was honestly, Miguel Cotto was kind of a plodding fighter too, or Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley didn't, at the time he fought Canelo, didn't have the quickest feet in the world, or sitting there right there. If you're sitting there and you can't change angles on him and use footwork to, lateral footwork to keep him off of you, it's just going to be target practice, because he rolls up, because he slips and he counters you extremely, extremely, extremely well. But when he got in there with the littler guys who have the better feet, that was not the case. So Caleb Plant really does kind of fit that mold of the fighter that has excellent footwork, in that he can move laterally, left, right, backwards, and also counters very well off of shots when they miss. So Caleb Plant is saying that he thinks that this fight is against Canelo Alvarez is actually going to be easy. Now, the reason why I would give some credence to that now is because of Canelo Alvarez, when he was at 154, always had problems with guys like that. But now I think those problems are probably exasperated, because Canelo Alvarez's legs now are not what they used to be. Canelo Alvarez and even though he's not that old a fighter, he's like 31, but Canelo Alvarez has been a pro, I do believe, since he's 16. So that's a lot of years and wear and tear on his legs. Getting in there against a very quick young fighter like Caleb Plant could very well cause him a lot of problems. Now, the thing where I would doubt Caleb Plant is whether or not Caleb Plant actually has the power to really do anything to Canelo Alvarez. That's where the mystery lies with Caleb Plant, because Caleb Plant is somebody, again, very sweet hands, very quick, very fast hands, can land a lot of shots on you, but he's not necessarily somebody that has tremendous pop and can hurt you, But, I really do take my hat off to Canelo Alvarez in this instant for taking this fight, because this is not a matchmaker's dream for him. And he's in a situation where I thought that he was picking a lot of guys in a row whose styles of fighters fit him pretty much perfectly. And that is, again, the guy, even like Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs I think is probably the best fighter that he's fought since he fought Gennady Golovkin. But even Daniel Jacobs is not somebody that is going to be showing a tremendous amount of footwork. He's somebody that is there, that will be there to hit and will sit down in front of you and sit down on his punches. But that was probably the most competitive fight that Canelo Alvarez has had in a while with Daniel Jacobs, who does have mobility. He just doesn't have mobility to the extent that Caleb Plant does. Now, what do I think is actually going to happen in the fight? I've got Canelo Alvarez winning the fight. I don't want to get it twisted, but I do think that Caleb Plant can throw a big wrinkle in it. And I don't necessarily, if this fight is easy, I'll be shocked, because it would be coming off of another fight like with Yordenis Ugas, where Yordenis Ugas made the fight again with Manny Pacquiao look like it was easy work. So anyway, it's nice to hear that at Caleb Plant. It's even nicer to know that the fight has been made between the two. Hopefully, we'll get to see the fight. No drama will happen to prevent it. And I do believe the fight's going to be in November. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.